everybody. This is Amanda Smith with livingthatworkathomemomlife.com. And I'm so excited today to introduce one of my mentors that I've been following lately to help my blog get started, Tracie Fobes.
Hi there. Thanks for having me.
Yes, thank you so much. It's so exciting. So Tracie, I met her on a networking blog Facebook group, and then have started following her specific network group and then her courses. And so I just wanted to bring on somebody. I've only been in the blogging world. It's going to be about a year this month, I think, when I got started. So she's going to bring lots more experience to us. And so anyway, tell me a little bit about your background and how you got in the blogging industry.
Yeah, no problem. So back in 2008, yeah, it's a long time ago, my husband and I were trying to get out of debt. And I started figuring out how our budget for groceries wasn't working. And we had like 3 of us, and it was just, we were killing our budget every month. And so I went online, I started researching different ways I could save on groceries. And at that time, I was part of a forum, long before we had Facebook groups. We all joined these forums, right, to talk with moms and different people and network. And I started telling them, like, hey, here's how you can get a really good deal at CVS this week. And one of my friends is like, you need to start a blog. And I'm like, a what? Mm-hmm. I had no clue what she was talking about. So I'm like, okay, I went to Google and I Googled, what is a blog? I can still remember doing that. I'm like, oh, okay. And I stumbled onto it and started it. I had no clue what I was doing. And as they say, the rest is history. My blog is now traciefobes.com. And so I've kind of made this shift from doing the day-to-day blogging to now helping people, because I was getting questions in my inbox all of the time from people. I'm like, hey, you've been doing this. Can you help me with this? And I'm like, okay, there's a need for somebody to help. And I think what kind of makes me a little different than a lot of people who are teaching people how to blog is when I started, like I said, I didn't know anything. I had to Google it. I had to Google how to add a menu, how to add a drop-down menu. It was not this beautiful WordPress thing that we have now. It was a lot more antiquated back then. In fact, I was on Blogger when I started, and then eventually moved to WordPress. But when I didn't know how to do anything, I would Google it, and then I would break my site, and I would cry, and I would fix it, rinse and repeat. And I reached out to countless people saying, hey, how did you add this feature? Saying, oh, go help me. No one helped me. So it was all on my own. And I told my husband, I'm like, I never have forgotten how lonely that feels. What it's like to feel as if you're doing this all by yourself and no one wants to help you. So it's kind of, I've taken that viewpoint that we all need help, and not just, well, go here and buy my fancy product, or go here and read this. Literally somebody saying, click here, click there, point there, do this. And that's my whole method and philosophy, is that we all need help. So I moved this whole shift from doing the blogging part to really wanting to help people not feel like I felt.
Of course, one of the ways to monetize the blog is with sponsorships.
Yes.
So that's how I stumbled upon you, and that's one of my favorite courses. What are some of the other courses that you offer?
We've got several. One of the most popular ones is my free Start a Blog course. And it's different than every other blog post you see, like start a blog, and they list like 6 things. I'm like, there you go. No, I literally help you pick out what it is to blog about, because that makes a difference. How do you come up with the name, and what mistakes do you want to avoid? And then I have other courses like the Blogging Playbook, which shows you what to do once you have your blog. How do you add an image? How do you write a blog post? I've got email list growth, where I walk you through how to create an email list and get subscribers added. We have an affiliate marketing course where I teach you how to make money through links on your site. And like you said, the sponsored post course, where we even talk about that. There's also productivity and coaching, lots of different things to help every blogger, no matter where they are in their journey. There's going to be a course that will work perfectly for you.
You said your motivation behind wanting to work from home was saving money. What were you doing before you started blogging?
I was working part-time online remotely as a 401k plan administrator. So I worked in 401k plans for years and then got married. My husband and I knew we wanted to start a family right away, but I didn't want to work out of the house. So I actually went back to a previous employer who allowed me to work remotely from home. And I worked a few hours a day doing that. And then it just got to be too much with 2 kids. And I just finally stopped. And so I just wasn't even doing anything. And then I started blogging, not even knowing that you could make money blogging. I started it truly out of a desire to help people and learn about the money quite a ways in.
All over the place, I see different figures on what people can expect to earn, and then people say the industry is saturated and there's not, and so what's your reply to that?
I don't think it is. There are how many billions of people in the world? What people come to a blog for is, yes, it's that information, but it's to connect with somebody who gets them. That's why. How many blogs out there and how many bloggers out there are doing what I'm doing, right? They're all saying, here's how you start a blog, and they're helping you. But you've connected with me and you feel like, okay, she's my person. That's the case with every other blog. You will be their person. I don't care that there are 50,000 budget blogs out there. You can be 50,001. And what makes your blog different is you. There's no one like you. And that's what people are craving with blogs, is they want that person that they can connect with, that person who gets them, who's really going to help solve their problem so they can achieve whatever their goals happen to be. So as far as being saturated, I do not believe that is the case at all.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Just like there's a million hairstylists that can fix hair. What platform, your courses are through Teachable, are they right? Do you have any shops?
Yes. Yeah, all of my courses are on Teachable. And then I have a store where I sell printables and some books and different products. And that is hosted through Shopify. So I basically use 3 things. I use WordPress for the blog, Shopify for the store, and Teachable for my courses.
Your day-to-day life, like, I know it's probably different every day.
Yeah.
What is your plan to stay organized and work?
Yeah, that's definitely a struggle. So I can't live without my planner. And I can literally show you, and it's a hot looking mess with scribbles and scratches all over it. But that's literally what I do. I look at, what do I need to work on this week? I start Sunday night. Like, okay, I'm working on a new course right now. And so I'm like, okay, I had to work on that course. And then I break that course up into, okay, I want this day to finish this lesson. And I write that in my planner. And that's all I work on. That's it. If that means that I'm done in 2 hours, I'm done in 2 hours, and I take the rest of the day off. If I don't get it done, then I stop when it's time to quit working before the kids get home from school. And guess what? That gets moved to the next day to pick up where I left off. So for me, it's a matter of deciding what I have to do and then breaking it up into pieces and assigning that a daily task. I also, with my kids, when they're in school, they leave at 8. My youngest is out the door at 8 o'clock, and then my oldest gets in the house about 3:20, 3:25. I work from 8 until 3. Those are my hours. That's it. I don't work outside of that. I don't work at night because my family is far too important for me to want to give that up. So that's kind of what my day looks like. There can be problems that come up that take me away from doing what I have to. But when I think of a new project or something I have to take care of each day, I don't stop what I'm doing. I add it to my list for later. And I think that's the hang up with a lot of people who work from home, is you have a great plan, and then all of a sudden an email comes through and you get sidetracked. And I call it squirrel syndrome. You're just like jumping whoop, 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 back and forth because you don't know what to focus on. Know what you need to do every day, and that's all you should focus on, and nothing else, unless it's a fire, of course. And, that's how life goes.
At what point did you think, okay, I can really make money with this? And how long on average do you think? I know that's hard.
Yeah, it is. So like I said, I started blogging not even realizing I could make money. Back when I started, we didn't have ad networks. We had Google AdSense. That's like it, right? It's all we could use. And so I started out with like affiliate banners and things because I didn't know any better. And I still remember my first check. So I started in January of 2009, like January 9th of 2009, my site went live. My first check showed up the middle of August, that same year for $65. And I was like, oh my gosh, I can make money doing this. So I kept working it more. And then a few months, I was making like a couple $100s a month. Within a year, I was making a couple thousand, $2,000 to $3,000 a month on my blog. And now I exceed 5 figures every single month between on my blog through affiliates, ad networks, sponsored posts, lots of different money-making avenues. Just because I don't have all my eggs in one basket, which is one of my most important lessons for anybody who blogs. You can't just depend on one thing to make you money. So, but when that $65 came in, it was kind of that turning point that, oh my goodness. And it's so funny, I still remember my goals. You know, we all talk about these goals. I wrote them down. I wish I would have saved the paper. I did it, but I remember them because they're so crazy. So when I first started my blog that January, my goal was to have 100 page views a month and make $100 a month within a year. 3 years was 300 page views a month, 300 page views a month and $300 a month. And by 5 years, $500 a month. I blew my 5-year goal out of the water within 6 months of blogging. Wow. So I was making more than $500 a month. The thing is, I think we all get so hung up on those posts, like, how am I making $20,000 a month blogging and you can too? And it ends up being a giant ad, right? It's like, oh, you need to sign up for hosting here, and you need to take this course and this course and this course. And that's not how it works for 99.9% of bloggers. Mm-hmm. The truth is, it's going to take most bloggers 12 to 18 months before they can see a sustainable income on their blogs. And I think that more bloggers need to know that. But I mean, think about that. Would you read an article like how I made $65 after 9 months of blogging? You wouldn't read that because that's not exciting, right? But, you know, how I'm doing this, you know, after 5 years, I'm now making $20,000 a month. It gets you clicking. Mm-hmm. So we have to keep that in mind, and we have to kind of rein ourselves back and don't think blogging is this quick way to make money, because it is not. If you're starting it thinking you are going to be rolling in the dough in 5 months, I hate to burst your bubble, but you're not. It's just reality.
Right. I agree. I started my blog mainly because I wanted to help other women learn ways to work from home, but I was recently divorced and I was trying to find another income source to cover child support if, you know, something were to happen. So I was my only sole income provider. So
yeah, I get that.
If you could have done anything differently in the beginning, I'm sure you could come up with a few things.
Oh my goodness, where do I start? Honestly, the number one thing I would have done a lot of things differently. Number one, there was no Pinterest when I started, guys. So that lets you know how long I've been blogging. Pinterest was not a thing. So there you go. So yeah, Pinterest would be good. But honestly, I would have started with SEO from the beginning, search engine optimization. I would have studied what that was and written articles to try to get them to rank. I also would tell people that you need an email list. You do not need to start your email list until you understand how to write a blog post and you kind of have your feet wet. You know, like maybe 2 to 3 months into blogging, consider an email list. Don't think it's the second thing you have to do. I just disagree with a lot of people on that. But I wish I would have done my email list differently from the get-go and set it up properly. I didn't. I just used what's called the RSS feed, which means when you post a blog post, boom, your email goes out. That was not a good use of my email. And so I ended up not too long ago deleted 20,000 people from my email newsletter list because they weren't engaging with my content. You know, they just were getting this RSS feed. They weren't clicking. They weren't opening anything. They weren't doing anything. So I was paying for that dead weight. Right. So I really wish I would have done that. But honestly, if I have one thing I can tell people is to do that. Again, since I did so many things wrong, I also would tell people don't put all your eggs in one basket. One thing a lot of people don't know is I almost lost my website several years ago. I was doing Amazon and I was making money hand over fist. And apparently I made too much money one holiday season, and they emailed me and said, oh, guess what? We're slashing your rates by 75%. Have a nice day. So I literally lost like 75% of my income within a couple of weeks. And I had to totally revamp my site. But it forced me to diversify. And so I think it's really important that as bloggers, We diversify everything. We diversify our traffic coming in. Don't just think Pinterest is it. You need to work on SEO. You need to work on your newsletter, other platforms, and you need to diversify that income and have all those different places dripping income into your site. So if one thing tends to fall back, you're not end up hosed like I was and trying to scramble to figure out how you're going to salvage everything.
And I was going to mention that your email newsletter, you always offer tips, free tips, helpful tips. I'm trying to remember when you had sent recently, and I was like, oh, good to know. I can't remember which one it was, but so it's not constantly selling.
Oh no, I don't. I'm not that. I hate those kinds of emails. That's going to get me to unsubscribe, and your readers will do the same thing. If you just sell, people don't want to be sold to every time they turn around. They want to be helped. That's why they're on your list. And the more you help, the more they buy when you do finally say, hey, guess here's this great product. So yeah.
Tell them the name of your course or how they can find
it. It is learngrowearncourse.com. And they're all in there. You get in there, you'll see all the courses listed. And then you can visit my site, which is traciefobes.com. And you can find everything there as well and connect with me on Facebook, etc.
Well, I appreciate you again taking the time to talk to us, and I'm so excited to get through your courses. It's on the to-do list.
Yeah, right. And that huge to-do list that never goes away. Yep, I get it.
Yep. But thanks again, and I will send them your contact information too so they can get in touch with you.
Sounds good. Thank you so much for having me.